Hello, today I want to talk about a few of the uh, sites that you can use or services that you can use to host your website in for free. The and maybe one, um and we'll talk about hosting it later, where you are hosting your site for a budget on a budget. And we'll talk of pros and cons. I want to say one thing. Hostinger is different because it allows you to have backend. You can have a PHP, you can have in a database and e-commerce on the site itself. But here, nevertheless, we only gonna think about simple sites and what you get for hosting sites for free. And I want to talk at first about this very first. This is the second website I made many few years ago. I used to have a friend live who still live in Wyoming, and she owned at the time a bar. And this site was made maybe with HTML1, because I the only website I made before this was in Neocities in the 90s, late 90s. This is even before I took modern HTML. So it was something that I wanted to do to help my friend. I made the site and I actually bought the domain name from my own pocket because she was really struggling with how expensive they make it to for you as a business owner here in the United States. And she didn't go under. She held on for many years, actually for a decade and a few years more than a decade, until she was finally able to sell the the bar and pay the giant bank bill. So she didn't end up being a millionaire out of it, but that was the thing. So she had her only livelihood, a bar in the middle of nowhere, that she put her retirement money in it to start. And this bar had one problem where most of the people that come, most of the profit that come during the hunting season and tourist season in Wyoming, where the national parks are. So most people were not familiar with the menu. They were not the regulars, and so we made a very simple menu, and uh, and that was the goal for the thing. And of course, the goal was so a simple website with information about where you can find it, and the Facebook page, link to it, and all this, and it did the work. So, but wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent here, but uh, where did I host it? I hosted it on GitHub. I hosted it on GitHub. GitHub give you generous. I forgot the number, the how much you can host. Give you maybe 5 gig, maybe I can't remember. Even 1 gig, that's plenty for a simple website to host your project. And I hosted it on it, and it worked. That it worked. It's the speed is okay for this project. You know. What else on it? The what is it? What I want to say. Okay, and in GitHub, of course, as we state, you can't put any PHP on it, and you can't put ads. Let's say she's a popular bar. If this bar was in a big city, because the bar was actually nice, and if it was in a big city or something like that, uh, you know, people will visit the site often. Maybe you want to add ads to help you pay for the site. But on GitHub you can't do that. So you can't do that. You can open, you can it can be even a business site as long as just very static and you're not selling or anything on it on the site. So it can be a e-commerce site. and however, any e-commerce site have to have backend, but like, well, it can't have Google ads or ads on it. So that is one bad thing about it. But the site is held and it will hold. It's been sitting, and even after the bar was sold and I canceled the domain name, it's been sitting in my repository for a long time. So they didn't cancel it, which is good for a free host, because free hosting usually they cancel your site. Let's look at Neocities, for example. Let's look here. Neocities is also for websites that are what is it? What we're gonna call it? Let's go like for people who are creative, they call them indie sites. I actually have a site on Neocities, but my site is not is more like political and personal blog, where I talk about economics and stuff. But the sites, this site is very very good. Speed is not very good speed, but this site is meant for really for personal, and we'll talk about speed later because if you have many visitors at your site, especially at the same time, this will affect the speed. How much RAM is allocated to your site will matter. So but the site is not bad. Everything, however, I want to say both sites, NeoCities, uh, you know, um, there's another site service like NeoCities. I forgot what it's called. Uh, that is similar, but everything have to be programmed from scratch. Your CSS from scratch, no template, nothing. You have to really know JavaScript. You have to really know CSS. You have to really know, uh, and it show if you click on each site, for example, it show how like some are like funky. They don't have to follow the rules, but despite that, some of them are uh, like this person. This person know very little about uh, you know about programming, but nevertheless, and it is, as far as I know, you can host a site for forever, as long as you know you don't they're not really picky where they will kick you out. They give you about half a gig, 500 megabyte, which is plenty for even a large site. So that is something. It's similar to GitHub, except you know but I think GitHub is faster, especially if you want a professional site. But I can really move this and put it here and it will look the same for the consumer. You get a subdomain with the Neocities, and if you want to put a domain in Neocities you have to pay $5 a month, which is not bad. But on GitHub you can put your domain for free, can link your domain for free. So I will still go with GitHub for a free site. Let's talk about the other option of I think will be the best for a free website. And we're gonna go to Bloggers. Bloggers is a site made for blogs. It's been on for years, but I think it's bought by Google now. So they give you unlimited space. And if you are a blogger, if you have a website like a Google site and all this, and if you keep it active, just they won't cancel your site. I think they would cancel your site if the site doesn't get any visitors or but like if you can like make Google, let's say YouTube and whatever, as long as you get visitor on one of them, your site will remain active. Uh, Similar to the, your similar to GitHub and Neocities and others. Uh, it is a front end only. All the free ones are the front end only because that's cheap. Um, let's talk about the bad thing about it, the customization. They give you option to theming, for example, where you theme things, kind of like mobile setting and all this. But like, let's look here. Let's click. Yeah, so I guess I don't know. Desktop. Do you want to show? Yes. Okay. So like they have the view here. Let's say the view. Save. I'm gonna put it mobile. So I guess they give you option. Okay. Well, let's see what else. So like it will open. Let's look at this. You'll open like this. You can customize it this way. They give you option to customize your site. You know, the site have sharp edges and all this. But if you really want to customize your site, you can go and do HTML. However, I'm gonna say this: you have to open the site and use the inspect and go line by line because everything is what's the word I want to use? Everything is, you see, it's an XML inside the HTML, and so it's kind of a mess, and everything in the like the theming, all this is crumbled together, and it's kind of it's not easy to do it this way. It look easier, but it's not easy. But you definitely can do it. So it is actually a challenge for me. I'm working on a site here, for vocational training for healthcare. The site is still can take maybe a year or so to build because I have no time, but it is very good. It is a hassle to theme because if it's a blank space, at least you know you can build it and you can do it this way. But this one doesn't allow you to put completely blank. You still have to put, the XML and all this. Like, you have to do stuff more. So it is a challenge for me, which is I think I like to do that challenge. Just need more time. You can, of course, also you can do the layout. It's kind of a theming thing, but like you can adjust the main, you can add sans to it, and that's the one of the good things about this site. If your site like it's a blog or let's say Wahoo, there is on YouTube there is like a famous chef, foodwishes.com. That site is built in Blogger, you know, and I think that site is too bad he doesn't have ads. Like if I was him, because you think his business is based on people visiting the site to check let's say they want to check the recipe, you know, it would be good to put Google ads, but he doesn't. So, but nevertheless, so you can add that. You can't, of course, add e-commerce on it. There's no back end. What else we gonna talk about? Let's talk about the budget. The best way to really build a professional site. If your business is a site, you go with uh, Hostinger. There's others, what Porkbun, like whatever. There's others that are really good, but like Hostinger is one of the very good ones. However, I want to say a few things. This price is only for 48 months, but 48 months is plenty for you to to have your business start, because this is if you want to have a site as a business. You have a back end, you have everything, you can put ads on it, can do whatever you want on the site, and they're not gonna cancel your site because you pay for it. You're a paying customer. However, I will stay away from the premium. And we talk about the speed on the others, and that's one of the good things about Blogger. The speed's really great. Uh, Actually, to just jump ahead backward a little bit, the bloggers only give you unlimited amount of space, which is amazing. Even the paid versions, they don't, but you are getting 50 gig on this one. 20 gig, that's plenty of space for anyone to start a site. But I will stay away from the premium because if you look deeply into it, if you get like more than 20, your site won't handle more than 20 con- visitors at the same time because they allocate small amount of RAM, fixed amount of RAM for you. So while a site like this will handle maybe up to 120 people at the same time visiting your site, which is very good for a small business or a decent sized business. That's at the same time, at the same minute. You know, li- you know, uh, So that's actually very good. Will work for most businesses because not all of us are Facebook. And of course, you can put back end, you can put whatever. You can also build. If you develop your site through HTML and use you convert your site to a mobile app, you can just point it to the site and you don't have to pay for extra storage for your mobile. So that is one thing. They give you email and all this, and the hosting has been around for a long time, and it's so far been very good. So um, kudos to them. But that is one thing that it's a good idea if you wanna start like a business, start with Hostinger. You can definitely, if you are doing something that is maybe you need like Google Ads, I would go to Blogger. But you even if if you, let's say you don't know how to code, if you pay somebody to fix your site, it's worth it. You know, because you are not paying uh, for you know you're not paying for hosting, so you only have to pay for the domain name which you can link to your blogger. So that is one other way you think. So that is the three. I guess we did talk about four hosting platforms, but those are the two, well, I guess the three free ones, and the one that I think is great for the beginner, Hostinger. And I just want to talk about them because I am in that space, and if you would ever decide to, you know, to start something, or if you have a small business, a shop, or whatever, you know, GitHub will be great, I think, so far. But any free website they can change the rules. But if they change the rule, you can have the site, back up the site on a flash drive, and you can just host your site somewhere else. Okay, that's it. You guys have a good day.